I think my understanding from seeing these exhibitions of black art was that it was definitely not a homogenous group of artists. It was intergenerational, so you had younger artists plus some more established artists. The younger artists, I could see there was definitely an energy there that had some commonality, I suppose, and within it you had members of the black art group, which was only a very small group, which Eddie Chambers and others set up, who had, I suppose, a shared political mission, if you like, in their work. But generally it was a very broad church, and you wouldn't say it was a movement at all, but it was a diversity of different voices. I think, pretty sure that the artists that we eventually showed in the Bluecoat would have been in that show. So Eddie Chambers and Tom Joseph, who became Tam Joseph, Sonia Boyce, Keith Piper. I think they were all in that show. But as I say, it was a very broad-ranging show, which I think surprised people that were interested in this work, that there had been people doing this work for a long time, plus this new generation of artists who are in their 20s. Obviously, what I understand to be black art then changed as the practice changed, as society changed, as lots of things changed. I think there was a need very much amongst that younger generation of Eddie and Sonia and Keith to make their mark. As I said before, Eddie was very insistent that artists like himself should contest the right of those artists to be included in galleries. So using the term black and black art group was very significant, and you couldn't ignore it, and you had to sort of confront that within your own organisation, like why aren't we showing this work? But also within the discourse around what art practice was in the country, because it was not being written about, barely at all, and certainly not the mainstream magazines and reviews weren't covering it. And that, in a way, probably is what attracted me to it as well, aside from the fact that it was good, it was great work, and it was very much about the society that we lived in. It was engaging with real issues. But I suppose over time, all that changed for all sorts of reasons, and it became, for many artists, a burden to be a black artist, because you could only be included in certain types of shows which were for black artists. And so artists like Eddie got very disillusioned that they were being excluded as serious artists in their own right, and they could only be in these large group shows called black art. So that would be the main change I would see over that period, the whole shift. And then obviously the shift towards a more international approach that you see with Innova, but that's perhaps further on in the discussion.